We're back.
Yes, we're back on YouTube. Gotcha.
Nah.
This is our exclusive YouTube 15 where we talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome. I know you guys have been stuck or on the other side of that paywall for so long, but now you get to see what we do.
We thought we'd be, giving and generous.
Yeah, we're so generous, so kind.
I know.
Very humble, too.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
God, we're angels, basically.
Yeah. Such angels. So, we got some good news recently.
Yes, we do. I feel like I manifested this because I was so outspoken and adamant that I don't want that to happen.
I think so. I think it was everyone's energy as soon as that fight got announced. We're so happy it's gone.
Yes.
It's left the stratosphere.
I mean, we're not breaking news or anything, but Mike Tyson and Jake Paul no longer happening. It's being postponed, hopefully forever. Mike Tyson had a health scare.
Dude.
And
he couldn't fly, right? Because of it?
I believe so. Or something about him on a plane, a doctor had to be called, all that stuff. So I'm very happy because I never wanted to see that happen.
No, he got like some kind of ulcer flare up. And I think a lot of times when we think about these freak show fights, a lot of times the hopeful fan in us is like, oh, well, it is Mike Tyson. Like you always see the videos of, old boxer gets in a scuffle with some young kid and knocks him out. And you're like, oh, that could happen with this. But it's like, no, it's two people who are trained, one was a trained professional and has all the damage from that on top of old age.
And is now 60 years old.
He's now 60 years old. Look at any 60-year-old and and include all the head trauma that Mike Tyson would have taken in his long boxing career. And he's fighting someone who's fresh out of his baby's diapers. Now he's a big ass kid with a lot of muscles and testosterone. Definitely on steroids. No, I don't want to see that happen. Like, please. Please don't let that happen.
No, I don't even want to see it in a movie.
No. Me neither.
Who wants to see that?
What if he doesn't want a stuntman? Like, I don't want to see that happen anywhere. And so, luckily, we were blessed. The fight gods gave us mercy and stopped Tyson from showing up to this fight.
Thank you. I need to re-up the fruit on my altar. I need to resage it. I need to get it some more herbs and all that stuff to say thank you.
Yes,
you all do the
please
same,
do it. Please do it. I even wore my Mike Tyson socks.
Yes.
To celebrate this great news. So, I mean, the sad thing though is we're not out of the weeds yet because we got some crazy fights announced for UFC Saudi Arabia.
Tell me.
Well, for one, you have one of the Diaz brothers coming out, and he's going to be fighting Vicente Luque.
Which Diaz brother? No. No. How is that happening? How is that happening?
It's happening. Nick Diaz is fighting Vicente Luque.
Fuck.
In UFC Saudi Arabia, I think August. Let me see when that is. But yeah, it's happening.
Dude.
It's pretty crazy. I don't know how this came to fruition, but I was able to talk to Luque, and he was excited about the fight. Like he's like,
I bet he was.
He's like, yeah, I just got knocked out. Like it'd be great to get a big win over a big name. And Nick Diaz is someone I watched when I was getting into the sport. I can't even talk about it. It's so ridiculous. And yeah, this is a winnable fight. I mean, I can't be mad
I get
him.
it. No, I'm not mad at it at all.
I can't be mad at him. But it's just insane that this fight was even thought of as a good idea.
Who did that?
I don't know.
Is that our boy Mick or Shelby?
I don't know, but I think we need to give him a talking to.
The fuck is your problem? Especially after Nick's last performance.
Yeah.
And it was so long ago.
Yeah, no, it's who did he fight
He
last?
fought Robbie Lawler, and I wanted to cry.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, so Nick is gonna be jumping in to fight Vicente Luque, who is still like very much a scary
ranked
fight
top 10
for
I
anyone.
mean, he had a bad night against Buckley, but he's still like very, very dangerous and very skilled.
Yeah.
And still, people have said like that fight showed that he's, you know, not at the top of his game anymore. I think Buckley just like had an answer to, you know, to the problem that Luque presents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he made it a really, really tough fight for Luque. You know, everybody has bad matchups, and that was that for him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And everyone counts Buckley out too. So I think that adds to, I guess, the downfall after a win, when your opponent, you know, he's nasty, you know, they're like really skilled, but for whatever reason, the fans aren't on board yet with the hype train. Then when you lose to that person, it can be like a little more devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I fought the last girl, a lot of people were like, it's Angela Hill. Like, who gets submitted by Angela Hill? But the fact that, you know, she knew I was tough, I know I'm tough, and then you go into a fight against someone like that and you lose to them, then it can, like, it's not as crazy as people are saying it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So Vicente Luque, he's always been like right there in top 10 for a lot of his fights. He's a huge finisher. He can get knockouts, submissions, everything. And for him to fight Nick Diaz is just stupid.
It's wild to me. It's
so
wild. And I mean, I've been a huge Nick Diaz fan for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I really hope that he's taking this training camp seriously, because the last time he showed up into the octagon, it did not look like he was well prepared or even wanted to be there.
I mean, in the Silva fight, he laid down, right?
Well, but he was having fun in that fight.
Yeah.
Like that was him being.
Holy shit. I just realized that was 2015.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? What is he doing? He's crazy. That's how old I am. I'm like, yeah, that was like a few years ago.
No. Girl.
I wasn't even into UFC then. That's horrible.
Well, I don't
Good
like
luck,
it.
Nick.
I don't like it.
Good luck. But on the flip side, if Nick Diaz was able to pull off a win,
To show up like old school Nick Diaz, Luque would be in for a tough night.
yeah, if he showed up like old school Nick Diaz and then got the win too, though, like that's him back in the mix.
That's him top 10.
Him top 10, back in the mix. He could easily fight for the title next.
Yeah.
Because of his background, because of who he is, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a long shot, but you know, welterweight division, that's what this fight's gonna be at too.
I like that.
Yeah, so like that's gonna be just like a quick road to climb, because we were talking about earlier how Leon Edwards isn't really pulling all the fans into his box.
Did you see that fight?
Dude, that'd be a big one.
Yeah.
That would be a big box office hit. So maybe that's what the thinking was behind it. They're like, let's put some gas into the welterweight division right now, because, you know, people aren't really paying attention. So that fight got announced. And then we have one more for you.
Tell me.
We have, well, the main event makes sense. It's Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
That one's exciting.
Super exciting. Sandhagen gets another shot to crack the top, like be next one in line, and Umar gets to show how good he is. But also we have Michael Chiesa versus Tony Ferguson.
Stop it. Stop.
I think it's amazing that you haven't heard about these yet.
I don't know where I've been.
Oh, babe, you're tearing up.
I am. What are they doing?
We love Tony so much.
Oh my gosh.
And we would love for him to get a big win. So the one thing that we were talking about, with the Tony Ferguson fight, though,
What weight is this going to be at?
This is going to be at welterweight.
Come the fuck on.
But maybe.
What?
Maybe Tony's weight cut has been slowing him down.
He's not that big of a guy. He is not a 70-pounder.
At least he's fighting someone who used to fight at 55.
Kiesa is huge.
He's enormous. I don't know how he made that weight, but
because it was in his early 20s. That's how.
Yeah.
And then he got his man muscles on, and now he cannot make that weight again. Damn.
Yeah.
These fights are throwing me.
Yeah. So what I think is going to happen is that they're going to move Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson to this card, just because it would fit him perfectly with the fights they've already announced.
I mean, it's pretty on brand.
Yeah. Like, what else can they do that's more insane than that?
So this is Abu Dhabi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this at the request of the prince?
Probably.
Is this why this is happening?
Yeah, because they like to have their big names. We know Dana denies it, but they didn't have their big names beforehand, and they X'd the show.
They
like,
vetoed it. They were like, try again.
No, go to Apex. Fuck that shit. Like, give us some real names. So I feel like this is kind of the fuck you to that request. Like, okay, we'll give you some real names. Here's your matchups.
Jeez.
Eat that. And our poor legends are walking out to their demise. But I do think that Tony Ferguson has a better chance than it looks like on paper.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Just because Michael Chiesa, like we were talking about Vicente Luque earlier, he finished him with a Darce.
I know. It was on one of the cards that I fought on. And I was like, please don't get submission of the night. I get submission of the night. No, that was too cool of a submission. Don't, but I got it. I got submission of the night.
Hey, good job.
I did, but I was a little pissed. I was like, fuck. I got back to the hotel room and I turned it on. I was like, no.
That's so funny, right? Like when you get a good fight, like for me, it's usually just like a banger fight.
Yeah.
Like it's a crazy fight. I'm like, okay, if no one else has a crazy fight, then there's a good chance I might get a little extra. And you get back to your hotel room and you're watching the fight and you're like, God damn it.
Motherfuck, no.
Stop it.
Why do you have to be so cool?
Yeah. That's why it's nice when you get these cards where there isn't a lot of name value because you're like, oh
yeah, put me on an Apex card. I don't care.
Please. I'll show out in the Apex for a little extra bag,
No problem.
Yeah, I'll do that. So he finished him with Darce, and then I look back at his record, Michael Chiesa's, and a lot of his submission losses are Darce chokes. Darce and Bravo, which is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a little different grip.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And we should do a video on like the difference between Darce and Bravo.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I would like to be educated on that. But yeah, he often loses because of that, and Tony Ferguson has a lot of those wins on his record, Darce chokes.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, we could see old Tony in this fight.
It's a big size difference.
Yeah.
It really is. And size really is a weapon. That's why
matters.
Size matters. It does. It does. Yeah. Maybe like old school Tony, I would be less upset about this matchup, but he's what a 5-6 fight skid.
7.
Jesus.
It keeps getting worse.
And I mean, I'm a fan of both of them. I'm a huge Tony Ferguson fan. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I really don't like when you have the matchups where it's like one person who's definitely in a certain stage of their career.
Yeah.
Fighting someone who's in a totally different
exactly
stage where there's a lot more upside.
Yes.
For Ferguson, it's like he wants to go out with a bang. So give him either big name fights or just give him some fights to win, get his groove back or whatever. Give him some guys who've been in the same generation as him, people who he's never fought before, who you'd love to see, you know. But yeah, it doesn't happen. It's like when Nate ended up fighting Tony because of weight miss. What was it? Chimaev missed weight or something.
Yeah.
And so Chimaev fought Holland, and then Tony fought Nate. And it's like, this is the fight that should have happened from the get.
That's exactly how I felt.
Why didn't you guys do this? So Tony Ferguson is on a card with Nick Diaz. They aren't fighting each other.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, why isn't that matchup happening?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. It would make more sense to me.
Because UFC is like, suck it, Saudi Arabia. Here's your names. There's no glory in this. No glory in these matchups. Who else do you think they're going to put on the card? I have a feeling.
Are those the only ones announced?
Yeah, well, oh no. They have a couple others announced. So, as I told you, Sandhagen, Umar Nurmagomedov won. Also, you have Chito Vera versus Davison Figueiredo, which is a fun one.
I like that one.
That's a good matchup. Like, we'll see what happens. Like, Davison Figueiredo looks good at bantamweight.
Because he's not dying.
Yeah.
He's not losing, like, years off of his life. Mm-hmm. Trying to make weight like an idiot.
Yeah, no, he's fighting at his weight, and everything that he does well in flyweight, he can do it more aggressively at bantamweight.
His body is so happy.
They're so happy. They're singing praises. He's probably dancing on his way to the sauna now.
Yeah,
like,
he's so happy.
Yeah, he's chilling. And then you have Mackenzie Dern versus Lupi Godinez.
Oh.
But Luffy's gonna get in my treatment. She just lost to Verna, and now she has to fight Dern. So I think it's kind of a layup for Dern.
No, it's for Dern because she does not do well against grapplers.
Yeah, she's afraid. She's afraid of the grapple.
She fights like she's afraid of grapplers, and that's why she loses.
Yeah. Yeah. Like is in your fight. For instance, every time it went to the ground, she jumped away.
She ran away.
Like she would get a throw.
I was like, here, I will go. It's fine.
And Jess is like, wee, hooray.
I'm like, yeah, girl, do it. Do it. Here it is.
Let's go. And then she ran away.
I'm like, bitch.
Ran away from the top position. Which is probably, smart, but at the same time, you're giving up opportunities where you can start winning the fight. And in my fight, too, she took me down, and I was able to lock up that guillotine, which is probably also a smart move. And she kind of, like, jumped over, and I flew off of her because she's a ball of energy.
She's very explosive.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it's going to be super defensive like that. I mean, in the Vienna fight, though, they were, like, trading leg locks for a second.
She wasn't going to finish that. Stop it. Stop it.
She was pretending that she knew what she was doing. So maybe that's what this fight's going to look like. But I think if you do that with Dern, you end up on the bad end of a submission loss.
No, Dern's going to get that.
Yeah.
No, that's a gimme for Dern.
Yeah, it's Dern's grappling is a lot different from Vierna's, where Dern attacks nonstop, and Virna likes to like hunker down and get heavy on something and just be there and drag out the round. Like she also has a crazy weight cut, I think, Virna. So she's like, the less energy I have to use, the better. Like if I just have to dig my hips in and just be heavy on top of you and waste a clock, like that's great.
Yeah.
So Lupi's getting called in to fight Dern, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes, but that's another big name on the card. Yeah.
Okay.
Then that's it. So I feel like they're gonna roll out some other big names. Like maybe they'll bring in.
There's gonna be a heavyweight fight. There's got to be a heavyweight.
There has to be, right?
Yeah.
But who's maybe John Jones?
No
Finally
way. They're not
pops in.
giving John Jones. There's no way. No way. They're doing that.
It's a fight night. I forgot it's a fight night. Who's a big heavyweight right now?
Maybe
that's active. Oh, maybe not active. Who's a not active big? Maybe
Gone.
Oh yeah, Cyril Gane. He can make a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Good one.
maybe Cain Velasquez can like get shipped over there and pirate. Somehow avoid the police, make his big return in Saudi Arabia.
I don't think he's allowed to leave the country, Angela.
Saudi Arabia can make it happen.
I don't know if they have that kind of pull.
Maybe they'll will out Hezbollah. You know, he had his fight kit for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have Hezbollah versus Carla for a return fight.
No, who's his arch nemesis?
Oh, that other little guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They could put that on that card.
Hey, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
I would.
I'd watch that before I'd watch Nick Diaz versus Vicente Luque. It's like, come on. Give him someone that has more holes, more openings. Someone who's better. Yeah, all the holes. Vicente Luque is like a complete solid fucking fighter. Like,
yeah.
give him someone who he can maybe out grapple, you know?
Yeah, that, I mean, if this fight, you know, has to happen, which it's going to happen, I'm hoping that it is like a crazy grappling match, like when he fought Parisian. One of my favorite UFC fights. Nick Diaz versus Carl Parisian. That was fun to watch. That was just like a grapple
tumbleweed.
Yes, it was amazing. It was amazing. So maybe we'll get something like that.
Yeah, that would be fun. But I feel like he's gonna try to knock him out.
Probably.
Speaking of intergender fights.
Oh my goodness.
This CGI stuff, Craig Jones Invitational stuff, is so entertaining.
Yes.
Super entertaining. I mean, I'm super entertained by it because I'm still butthurt about when I went to the ADCC trials and this girl sat on her ass and I got deducted a point for not being able to pass her guard. Mm-hmm. So I'm still mad about that. But they are making the Craig Jones Invitational happen on the same week as the ADCC, and a lot of their top like players, the top people who are entering the tournament, are like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do Craig Jones Invitational.
Damn
instead.
straight, I want to win some money
because you get a show purse.
Yeah.
So you get a show purse, and the show purse is higher than what you could get for winning ADCCs.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. Like, basically, he's doing what Bellator started doing before they got absorbed, and I guess they lost all their money doing this. But basically, he's doing what Bellator started doing, where it's like fighters would get into contract negotiations, and Bellator started offering fighters what they were worth. And UFC was like, well, you can go there, but you're not going to be considered the best. And they're like, that's fine. Peace, you know.
Pay me.
Peace. And so, like, Bellator started acquiring a lot of really good fighters. And so this is kind of what Craig Jones is doing, because jiu-jitsu pays zero.
Which is really unfortunate.
I mean,
and you know they're making money because they don't have to pay me.
Tons of money.
They're making plenty of money.
It's like pageants. You know, the beauty pageants, like the kids ones.
All you get is a shitty crown that costs like $1 to make.
Yeah, but you pay all this money getting there, entering the contest, getting your whatever certifications or whatever. And that's the same with jiu-jitsu competitions. You have to pay to get in. You have to get there. You have to do it multiple times in order to qualify for the ones that actually mean something. Mm-hmm. You have to have your points. You know, it's like, it's kind of a racket.
It is. It's a great money-making scheme.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They're the best at it.
Holy shit.
They're the best at it. You show up, you get DQ'd for something you didn't realize you could get DQ'd for, and they collect your tab.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 150.
Yeah. And if you sign up, you know, for multiple divisions, like what if somebody doesn't show up, or what if this happens and then you don't get your money back?
Yeah, no, they're like, oh, you can use it for the next tournament. That's in another state that you have to get to. You're welcome. So Craig Jones Invitational is disrupting all of that.
I love it.
I love it too.
Shake the cage, baby.
I'm like, invite me. You don't even have to give me a show purse. I just don't want to pay to sign up. But they have the girl who
Fifion.
Is that how you say it? Let's say Fion.
Effion.
Effion.
Effion Davies.
Such a fancy name. Effion Davis, she just signed up for it. I'm not sure if they're doing like what kind of weight classes they're doing, but they already announced that she's over there. A lot of their top guys, I don't know their names, but a lot of the top guys who were supposed to compete at ADCCs,
Yep.
they're going to that. And I think it's really funny because everything that Craig Jones does is kind of a troll. Like the show money isn't just $10,000; it's $10,001.
Yeah,
Like, he's such a fucking troll. And then what's the win? The win is $1 million, right?
Yeah.
For 2 weight classes or 3 or what is it?
I'm not sure, but I just remember there's $1 million win.
$1 million on the line.
That is why everybody's jumping over.
Yeah.
And he's having a super fight with Gabby Garcia.
Yes, that's
who
why
he has basically like made his career off of trolling this woman.
Yes, I love it. Such
And they're
a troll.
having a super fight.
So is it actually happening?
He says it's going to happen. He says like they've already done the rules. They've already done the time. Like it sounds like it's going to happen. And he's all about, equality, gender equality.
If there's one freak show type of fight that people will turn up to, is man versus woman. It hits better than old versus young,
It does.
legend versus whatever, new kid that sucks. Big guy versus skinny guy. Like this hits better than all of those.
This is like old school pride,
Yeah.
like an open weight class, just like weird old school like UFC when they did the different disciplines. Like this is one of those kind of fights, and I'm actually not mad about this at all. When I think I would be deeply offended and bothered if it was like any other names.
Yeah, no, I think the guy that does it, he's so good about the way he promotes himself and puts himself out there. He's just like really entertaining, really witty.
Yeah.
And also very self-deprecating. It's the Australian in him,
It is. I've gone to one of his seminars.
Oh, was
and
it fun?
he's great.
Yeah.
Like he's so good at jiu-jitsu. He's so well spoken. He's so funny. He has great timing. So knowledgeable. Just like he's the total package.
Yeah.
Like there's no way this guy isn't going to be successful at like
Anything.
what he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that he calls himself the B team because he always comes in second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
No, it's really fun.
love it.
Everything about it is awesome, and I'm glad that he's doing that because it raises the bar. It's like when someone breaks the mold, like a Ronda Rousey or Conor McGregor, and they're getting paid millions, and then suddenly like the bottom guys get paid 12 and 12 now, or 15-15 when they get signed instead of 8 and 8. It trickles down a bit, and I feel like this being successful will mean a big deal to jiu-jitsu because right now it's just like a passion project. Like you're not gonna make money competing in jiu-jitsu. You're gonna make money from your credentials doing other shit like seminars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of it's interesting that that's happening. I'm trying to think of who's that comedian that boxed women. There's like all these movies about it. Like Jim Carrey played him. I feel like in a movie. Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that was the example I was thinking of when I'm like, yeah, that always goes viral. That always makes history when someone does that because it's the long time debate, right? I can't post anything where I'm like, yeah, I use this move on the guys and it always works. Like people will go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no way they weren't just letting you do it. No way a man couldn't beat a woman. And it's just like it's one of these things that people are always gonna show up and watch because the insecurities of the males are very high when it comes to a woman beating them up.
It is.
It has to be the worst thing ever, right?
I think so. I think it's insulting to their ego and they can't handle it.
Yeah. It's like I had to worry about guys beating me up, and now I got to worry about women too. Where does that end? Goats beating me up?
I mean, they'll get you. They'll get you. They'll hit you in the ass if you're not careful.
I know, right?
Turn your back.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be cool for sure. Can't wait to see it. go down.
I'm here for it.
Because I wasn't invited to ADCs.
Next year, get another submission.
Next year, I just got to work on passing a card. And I mean, if I didn't work on that, I probably wouldn't have gotten my submission in my fight. Because in the first round, I did a good job passing a guard for a split second.
Just create that momentum.
Yes, there's more to come. More jiu-jitsu Ange to come. Yeah, what else is going on in the MMA? Oh, speaking of women versus men, what happened? We got to do like a technique breakdown. Did you see that video of the Russian promotion where you had those two girls versus the fat guy?
Yes.
Dude.
That's insane.
Those girls don't look trained.
No, they weren't.
And I don't know if the guy looks trained, but he definitely
he
knew
was
how to
huge.
throw a punch a little better than they did.
I mean, he made contact way more than they did.
And he had no qualms about hitting a woman. He was all about it.
That was really interesting.
Yeah,
It's really interesting. It's yeah, I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, but it happened.
But it happened.
So let's
Here
discuss.
it is.
It happened. There's a lot of things like that exist.
I feel like I'm way more comfortable with a grappling match between a man and a woman
Yes.
than anything that involves punching or kicking.
Yes.
Like a fight, I don't want to see it, but a grappling match and the fact that this has been like a storyline for years and years and years, I feel like in my mind, it's acceptable, but this one is just, it's weird to me. And they try to make it acceptable by putting two women versus one. And I'm not in alignment.
I don't like it. I would have liked if they actually knew what they were doing.
Yes.
I would have been interested in that a lot more.
Or maybe made it a pillow fight.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Just something that doesn't involve a close fist.
Yeah, no one gets hurt too much. This looks a little too much like domestic abuse.
Yeah, it's just a little wrong for me.
Yeah.
A lot of wrong.
I like our chances against that guy.
Oh, for sure.
I think you could like distract them with your level changes. I could sneak up behind him, hit him in the back of the head. Then he turns around to me. You jump on his back, choke him out.
Oh,
I see a lot of paths to victory against that guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They didn't know how to block.
No.
They just walked in and they were like, "We're gonna beat you up."
Like we took a bad class one time. We know what to do.
Oh God. Yeah, ladies, don't sign up for anything anything that has Russian words in it, first of all.
Yeah, I'm sorry, no. That's always hard no.
Because you don't know what you're walking into. Second of all, make sure that you've sparred a couple times before you decide to fight a man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot harder than looks. I remember when I was like kind of young and dumb and I thought just being tough was enough to win a fight. No.
No.
You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to know at least a little something.
Yeah. So that was a little wild. But it's funny when stuff like that happens. It's like what do you call it? Like a case study. You get to see what would go down in something that usually isn't allowed in normal
it's a
society.
It's a weird like fetish niche kind of voyeurism thing going on with it.
Yeah.
It's like you really don't want to see it, and then you see it and you're like, I can't look away.
Yeah.
I have to watch it all the way through.
No, it was car crash-esque.
Yeah.
I was just happy the ref jumped in there a little faster than Herb would have, you know? It's like, okay, she's turning away. I think you can stop it now. He KO'd both of them.
I don't know how that was allowed. It's a weird thing.
No, super weird. But speaking of equality in women's sports, you saw that thing about the basketball player, right?
Yeah, so it's another kind of weird thing happened. So there's Caitlin Clark, who's been getting a lot of buzz in women's NBA, and she's bringing a lot of eyes, and like she's also received like a ton of hate from all the attention and praise that she's getting. And she last night was like blatantly fouled by somebody on the opposite team. Like there wasn't a play going on. There wasn't anything, going on, but she was blatantly fouled. And it was so blatant that people were questioning why she wasn't ejected. The one who did the fouling.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of attention on women's MMA or women's NBA, and it's easy to mix up.
W something something something. It's just 3 letters that
easy to
that
mix
differentiate
up.
between us.
Up. So
or
I
2
mean,
letters, 2 letters. That's it.
So it kind of reminds me when Ronda Rousey came on the scene, or when we've had these like female figures that have gotten a lot of attention, a lot of notice, like Paige.
Yeah.
And it's bringing a lot of positive attention to the sport, but people are really upset and frustrated at where the attention is going because it's going specifically on one person. So I don't think people can see past the benefit of it. Yeah. They just are frustrated that maybe they're not getting the attention. Yeah. But I feel like there is a positive in it because it's bringing so much attention.
Yeah. I think it's just a loaded subject when you're talking about WNBA because it's like a Black female dominated sport. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the women in WNBA are Black women. And then when you get someone who is not Black getting more attention than people who are equally skilled, then it comes into question, like, why is that happening? And we all know why, but it's like you can't say it anymore. Like, you just have to act like racism doesn't exist ever since, like, Obama got elected. Like, oh, our country isn't racist, but it is. It's mad racist. But I do think when you think population-wise, when you think, okay, who can relate to this girl, America is mostly white. And if you have a white girl in a sport where a lot of little girls are watching this sport and they're looking up to people who look like them or looking up to people who remind them of their mom or their sister or anyone else who's an idol in their family, then, yeah, there's going to be more people gravitating towards Caitlyn as opposed to Angel Reese because just population. That's how the world is made, or that's how our country is made up. So I think, yeah, it becomes like this loaded topic, but with MMA is really relevant because you instead have, because it is like most of the MMA fighters in the UFC are like white, Brazilian, like whatever. But hate to say it, but we're not all lookers. I think I look great, but we don't all have the conventional beauty that someone like Paige VanZant has. So
she was very like girl next door, very stereotypical, like blonde hair, blue eye, typical all-American looking girl.
Yeah, all-American. That's like the perfect example.
Yeah. So people really took to her, and it was frustrating as someone who's like a veteran,
more of the goth,
a little bit more Morticia, a little more Wednesday,
a little, yeah.
But it was frustrating to see someone get like pushed, get the road carved out and paved for them, in a way that would present them as better than they were.
Yeah.
And I mean, that road can only go that way for so long. And eventually, she started losing.
Yeah. Eventually you get either humbled or people are wise to how high your ceiling is when it comes to skills or potential.
And eventually that happened.
Yeah.
So it was frustrating to watch that and know what was happening, especially when there are so many other females who are really talented and deserving of that attention. But for whatever reason, they weren't pushed, or the mainstream media, demographic wasn't,
they weren't
latching on to them.
It. Yeah. It's like how we say Leon Edwards is an amazing fighter and we love watching him fight. But for whatever reason, he doesn't capture the attention of fans in the way that someone like
McGregor.
Like Conor McGregor does.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of a bunch of different aspects. And I think with the basketball one, the reason why it causes so much controversy is because of the race aspect. With our sport is because of the male gaze aspect, and it's just one of those things where sometimes you just gotta pick your hills to die on, and if something's making your sport better, maybe it's good, you know, like,
Yeah.
or not making your sport better, but just bringing more eyes to it. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's a good thing, because people who came in to MMA from watching Paige Van Zandt do Dancing with the Stars, they end up finding other people that they like, other
Exactly.
fighters that they like. My mom came into MMA because she was watching me,
Mm-hmm.
and now she has all these favorite fighters. You know, so it is good to bring eyes to the sport, even if you don't agree with who gets those eyes over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you can really control.
It's hard. I feel like, you got to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Even though it is frustrating in some aspects, there is a big picture. And like you said, it does bring more attention and eyes, and people are talking more about women's MMA and women's NBA more than ever
Mm-hmm.
because of, a select few people, but it does benefit everybody in the long run.
Yeah. You shouldn't treat your stars like Amanda Nunes, though. It's just like, they just acted like she didn't exist.
No way. You think that?
They
Do
were
you
like,
think so?
they were like, hey, Amanda Nunes is fighting for the title against Ronda Rousey. And everyone's like, she's a champ. Do you remember that?
No.
Dana White said, yeah, Amanda Nunes is fighting for the title against Ronda Rousey. He either said that or he said, and new Amanda Nunes. And everyone's like, yo, she was champion. She defended her belt when she knocked her. I think it was during a press conference, like the post press conference. He just forgot.
It was.
He forgot what Holly Holm did.
I mean, he named her the champ even before she was the champ. He handed her the belt.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I mean, even when
that might be what it was. Yeah.
yeah, and when Ronda Rousey and Amanda Nunes fought, I remember there was she had just landed that big Pantene Pro V commercial, and it was all around the arena just going off and off and off. So it was like, Amanda who? And then it was dead silent after Amanda knocked her out.
Oh yeah.
It was a rough one.
Yeah, it was super rough. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? That just goes to show how much Ronda Rousey improved the whole landscape of women's MMA.
Absolutely.
I mean, we were told to say that every time we did an interview on top.
Well, it's crazy.
It's actually true.
She's actually been in the media, in the MMA,
yeah.
in the MMA news recently, being quoted saying that she feels like she can't even enter the arena, otherwise she would get booed. She feels
Aw.
completely shunned and unappreciated. It's a little victim-y to me.
I mean, all she has to do is walk in with Trump.
I feel like
She'd
all
be
she has to do is
fine.
walk in and she would be welcome back.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what she feels, and I understand.
Oh, she did support Bernie Sanders, so maybe not. Maybe that wouldn't work. But no, I don't think that people would boo her in the way that she's thinking.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think so either. I'm not exactly sure what's coming. I'm sure it's hard because she picked the role as the heel and she played a very good one.
Yeah.
She was very brash and outspoken about a lot of things. So maybe that's where some of that is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you take that stance and then you lose, that's a really hard loss.
It's tough.
They're
Everybody
gonna
and
come
their
after
mama
you.
are gonna make fun of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and I feel like she knew what that would be like, but she didn't exactly knew what it felt like.
Yeah.
It's a really hard path.
People don't really know. I always get amused when our teammates and stuff who don't have that much of a social media presence or whatever, they'll start complaining about, oh, this guy was talking shit to me, or these people are talking shit, or my opponent is doing this. It's like, first of all, nobody knows who your opponent is. No one knows who you are. Why are you letting this affect you? This shouldn't even be a thought in your brain.
You were still anonymous.
Yes, you're anonymous. This person bothering you, only you and that person know about it. Because once you get on a bigger platform, you have to overlook so much of that shit. It's daily death threats, daily affirmations of how shit you are. People will come for you for no reason, just to make themselves feel better about their shitty day.
Yeah, coming after your looks, your gender, something you said 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, they got receipts for everything that you did and every reason they hate you, and they're gonna come after you. And it always amuses me when people who haven't really gotten that heat yet are upset about it, because I'm like, oh, you gotta toughen up.
You haven't seen nothing yet, honey.
You gotta toughen up, girl.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I forget
tough.
where I was going with that. Oh yeah, but in Ronda Rousey's case, it's like you don't really know how it's gonna affect you until it happens.
Yeah.
And everyone's human, it's hard to be the person who's the butt of the joke. And she was the butt of the joke after the Holly Holm fight, after the Amanda Nunes fight. That's a hard way to end your career.
Listen, everybody is on somebody else's highlight reel.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's not great. She had a great run. She made a lot of money. She got a lot of fame and praise and attention, and it sucks that it ended that way. And I know that's probably those last feelings and emotions are like really attached, and it's easy to forget all of the amazingness.
Yeah.
Because that was your last like experience and memory. I still remember her as, being great, as, being a trailblazer.
Yeah.
And I think that the MMA community still feels that way.
No, I think if she just came back to the MMA community, they'd embrace her.
Shit, I'd be stoked.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, she feels like there's this barrier of like people going, you suck.
And I mean,
and it's going to be there until she comes back.
Yeah.
If she came back, if she started doing panels, if she like was in the crowd, people would fucking love it. But I think that fear of how people are going to accept you is going to keep that facade, and keep her thinking that way. And then maybe it'll keep people talking shit about her because she's never come back to the community that built her.
It's hard. I feel like once somebody owns it and like just embraces it, it really takes the power away, but it's not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not easy at all. You got this, Ronda. Come back to us.
Yeah.
Come back.
Come on.
Do some seminars, some armbar seminars. We would love it. We would fucking love it. Cool. Well, anything else you want to discuss? Or
no, I think we're good.
You want to get to your Beerito?
Oh my God, stop it. I thought you forgot about that.
Jess has to drink a Beerito because she lost our bet. Don't worry, guys.
Did we shake on it?
We did.
Did we? I don't remember.
I have video proof.
Whatever.
I'm so happy about the video proof right now. All right, we're going to get Jess's Beerito made, and then we'll be right back. What's up, guys? I'm going to show you how to make a Beerito. So, Jessica was nice enough to get us a nice beef and bean burrito. We're going to make our Mexican style burrito. Now, since Jessica bet against Randy Brown, I'm using a Negra Modelo, because I'm proud. First thing you want to do is add the burrito. Oh, hey, Jess. First thing you want to do is add the burrito. Make sure it's frozen so it gives you a nice consistency. Now, I'm going to add the beer. All right, now we blend. It's coming out the top. Oh, looks good. We're going to blend it one more time just in case there's a few chunks. Alright, it looks ready to serve. Tastes good. Now we're going to add it to our glass. Just like a milkshake. Now we'll add a little garnish for extra flair.
Oh my God, it looks so thick.
It's like a milkshake.
Looks like it.
All right, you ready?
No.
You ready for
No.
Ready to enjoy? Yeah, it's basically a protein shake.
What are the consequences if I don't follow through with the bet?
You just have to have a sip. That's it. If you don't follow through, then you don't get to make me do something horrible next time around. Let's go, Jess.
Just need to mentally prepare myself.
Let's go. You got this. You put in worse things in your mouth.
That's fair. That's fair to say.
All right. Adam, we have a straw. Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Adam.
Oh, my God.
Bam. Yeah, stir it up.
No, I'm just trying to, I just don't want the sediment on the bottom.
Yeah, you want to go aim for right there.
Yeah, no, exactly where my straw is. Okay. Can I have a chaser?
Yeah, you're very demanding right now. You lost. You didn't drink that shit.
It's delicious.
Oh, damn. Second time. Wow. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this has been another Two Straws. So glad Randy Brown won.